So the United States just imposed sanctions on Iran and on Russia for election interference. These are sanctions against two specific groups within these countries, but what they're claiming is that they were actively spreading disinformation leading up to the 2024 election, specifically targeting vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris. So what they're claiming is that they created fake posts, they created fake videos using artificial intelligence, they created fake websites that would look like legitimate websites. And people on the right are saying, whatever, it is what it is. I mean, they were all crying years ago when they thought there were issues and interference, but it is what it is. And now you've got people on the left saying, could this be something more? This is what we've been saying this whole time. I don't know about any of that. I'm not going to get into that. But what my problem is how is this continuing to happen? I feel like this has been happening going back to 2016, where we've known about countries interfering. They've got Russia specifically making all these different websites, posts, videos. You've got all these bots. Look at this app right here. Any place you go to comment, there are tons and tons of Russian bots leading up to the election, spreading all of these lies, all this misinformation in these comment sections. And guess what? MAGA, with their low information voters that they are, would see these comments, go look up the information to do their research sometimes, and then find these fake websites that were just propping up these fake claims. You've got Iran pushing fake information and misinformation about the situation in Gaza and encouraging all these protests and people to come out against Kamala Harris. I mean, that created a huge rift within the Democratic Party to be able to push more votes towards Donald Trump or keep Kamala Harris voters at home. Both of these countries are adversaries, and yet we have no way of stopping this misinformation. How? We've known about this for nearly a decade, and who knows how far it goes back, but they're going to continue to use this as AI continues to develop and become more sophisticated. It's going to be almost impossible sometimes to figure out what is AI. I mean, I saw videos of Kamala Harris slurring her words, and all these videos put out about Joe Biden being, incompetent. And they were all these just heavily edited or almost fake videos. You've got Elon Musk taking so much heat for what he did with Twitter. And yes, he rightly deserves that. But what about these foreign countries? What about these countries that we're allowing to come into our spaces and create fake information and spread it so successfully? You plant that one little seed, that one little bit of information in the mind of a MAGA, that's all they'll ever believe, and they will die on that hill. You get people that are on the fence, and then they see these unflattering videos or this disinformation about Kamala Harris. That's going to turn them off, because then at the same time, they're putting out positive information and propaganda about Donald Trump to prop him up, because that's who they want, because they know he's the weaker candidate. They know they can control Donald Trump. So I think this is an absolute huge issue. It's 2025, and we already have so much doubt in our electoral process that I don't know that we'll ever be able to get that back if we don't do something serious about Russia, Iran, anybody else who wants to interfere in our elections and spread information. I'm afraid we'll never be able to trust our democratic process ever again.